Hello everyone, Prime here, and I hope you've had a great day so far, because today we're going to be covering Hel, personality, purpose, relationships, and of course her myths, things of that nature. So if that interests you, then you're in the right place, and let's get into this. Hel is a giantess that can also be called Hel or Hela. All of her names mean hidden. Her appearance is quite varied. Some say that she was blessed with beautifully healthy pink skin from the waist upward. However, from the waist downward, her flesh was rotten or bony to the core and practically non-existent or very undesirable. Others say that she was cast half in darkness and half in the white of snow from birth, which I'm assuming is the high-res approach to her design. Some say that she had the beautiful looks of her father and the repulsive aesthetics of her mother. Quite frankly, considering the fact that we don't have to look at a disgustingly putrid face every time we pick Hel, look at Hel, have to fight Hel in Smite, I think we can all thank high-res for that. She's said to have a characteristically grim look on her face and a grim facial expression at most times. She's not a very happy chap. Which, to be fair to Hel, if you were sentenced to be cast down into this dark, cold, hidden realm, shrouded in mist, from birth just because of your parentage, then you'd be pretty depressed too. She rules over the unwanted or dishonored souls that Odin did not want and wouldn't let Freya take in her realm or hall. To get sent to Helheim, you must have not died in honorable fashion as a warrior on the battlefield. Breaking the darkness, you gaze upon the entrance to Helheim, guarded by a fierce wolf, cursed to guard this cold realm, hidden in mist. The gate itself, surrounded by a fence made up of bones. A beast you thought could only exist in legend. The dragon sucks your blood and whatever else may remain of your life essence before you are permitted entry into Hel. All of your life you've been told that to die dishonorably in battle would condemn you to a miserable eternity with Hel. Hello? Oh yes, you must be another one of those fresh arrivals. I'm sorry, fresh arrivals? Yes, that's right, fresh arrivals. Alright, where is this place? This place? Nowhere special, really. Consider it your home away from home. What do you mean? How do I get back to my other home away from here? Don't worry about that place. Everything has been taken care of. Taken care of? What do you mean? What's going on? Ugh, don't just make me blurt it out. That's no fun. Tell me what's going on, or I'll... What? You'll kill me? No, my dear friend. You're dead. What? Where's all the mead? And Odin, Frigg, his sons, and the gods? Mead? Oh yes, we have plenty of that, but the gods? You and I both won't be seeing them until, you know, Ragnarok. You mean to tell me, yes, my friend, you're in Helheim, meaning all of my fun is now gone. Thank you for taking this from me. What about my family? You remember Bjorn, right? Oh. Don't worry, we'll get you back up and living here in no time. Can I interest you in our latest selection of finely crafted... So what, we just wait around here until Ragnarok, where we die in some not-so-glorious battle just because? Yes. Now stop interrupting my sales pitch. So now for the good stuff. You're here because you did not die in battle. So how did you die? Wouldn't you already know that? No, we might be better off than some other men, as we're not burning right now, but we don't even get that courtesy of knowing how you kicked the bucket. What happens after I tell you? Nothing really, it's just documented, but you don't get your house until you spill. So come on, let's hear it. We were victorious in a battle, and we had this tradition of leaving one of the men alive to tell him all about how we do fun things with his family, his village, and take all of his spoils, and then give him a good old-fashioned blood eagle for good measure. Well, I was showing off an axe trick, and, well, I accidentally cut off my, shall we say, best friend? We went a bit overboard. The next thing I know, I'm asking for permission to cross a bridge. Wow! You're dumb. I mean, we've had people who thought that they were Thor and jumping off cliffs, hammer in hand. We've had idiots stupid enough to sleep with y'all's wives, but yeah. Hey everyone, this idiot cut off his... Woo-hoo! Yeah, right off. And he bled to death, the stupid... Thor! Okay, my friend, come, we'll get you set up now. If you were to die from poison, old age, in your bed, or almost anywhere other than the glorious field of battle, you'd end up in this place. That doesn't mean your Viking funeral would be any less extravagant. Your body would still likely be burnt in some fashion, bones and all, to ashes. At some point, Vikings did start burying their fallen dead, and at some point they also built a pyre for their fallen and just burnt them on the pyre. Apparently, these changes in how the funeral ceremonies worked were thanks to Christian influences. Now, just so that we're clear, when you died, you would either go to one of three places, perhaps four, but I'm not going to mention that fourth place. So, one of three places. You would either go to Odin's Hall in Valhalla, you would go to Freya's Hall in a place whose name I did not look up, so I'll just leave some text on the screen, and you would, if you didn't fit either of those categories very well, then Helheim is for you. Now, despite the whole description and how bad or unpleasant I may have made it sound, it's really not nearly as bad as the Christian hell. You're not going to be punished in Helheim for your misdeeds. You're not going to be rewarded or rejoicing, but you're not going to be punished or overly harmed or harmed at all, really. In fact, in Helheim, what a lot of the beings that wound up there did either ended up serving hell in some way or another, or just doing exactly the things that they did whilst they were on Earth in Helheim. That is, eating, drinking, the other thing that comes after that, fighting, and just living daily human life, but just as a pale, bloodless corpse. Really doesn't sound too bad, does it? Helheim is considered to be a cold, damp, and dark place, though. Hel's servants, slow and lazy, knew this well. Her bed was called illness, and her curtains were called misfortune. That sounds pretty depressing, but I assure you, just because these names don't sound like the most pleasant things in the world, doesn't mean that Hel didn't get used to living there. And it really wasn't that bad. I mean, the worst thing about going to Helheim would be knowing that your brothers who did fight bravely in battle, who did earn their deathly wounds, would then go to Valhalla or Freya's Hall, and you wouldn't. But aside from that, it's not too bad. Much better than being eternally punished just because you didn't follow another set of rules or criteria. A lot more fair. Ending up in Helheim for being lazy is pretty ironic, though, considering the fact that you would just be living your standard day-to-day life, and perhaps even just continuing your laziness, just in a dark, cold, and perhaps smelly realm. I don't know if it was smelly. So, to elaborate on the little story I told you about Helheim when we begun, when a soul approaches the gates or entrance to Hel's realm, Garm, or Hellhound, will greet them. Garm is bound in a cave called this word, and barks at the sight of a fresh soul, and Garm is the wolf that I mentioned before. Then Nilhogger will promptly drain the soul of all of its remaining blood, leaving it pale and looking like everyone else in Helheim who was once human. This helps Hel to then recruit the new soul into her army of the dead. This army will claim the earth come Ragnarok, and by claim, I don't mean capture, I do mean destroy. If you were to end up in Helheim, you'd be eating, drinking, and living the average life of a Viking. Probably not the life that you're living now. Through one series of events or another, Loki and Angerboda found themselves on a secluded island. It didn't take them long to start making babies together. Hel was without a question the child that Loki felt the most attached to. And was actually one of the reasons why, after one of his sons scared him away, he returned to his family. Because there was this time where one of his sons just terrified Loki so much that he ran away to an opposite end of the island. But he began thinking about Hel and how much he missed her, and he returned to Hel so that he didn't leave his daughter. I don't know how much Loki visited Hel in Helheim, so I'm assuming not that much. But it is what it is. Kind of sad when you think about it, I suppose. Now, the most interesting thing I suppose I'll get to in this video. Hermod, one of Odin's sons, travelled very swiftly to Helheim in order to try and plead for the life of his brother, Balder. After a night's rest, he finally reached this dark, cold realm and pleaded with Hel for the life of his brother. Hel wasn't very willing to give Balder's life back. And eventually, after a bit of a back and forth between herself and Hermod, she did agree that she'd return the soul of Balder if everything in the cosmos would weep for the death of Balder, or, for the sake of Balder, rather. And he returned with this news to his father and mother in Valhalla, and so they agreed and got everything in the cosmos to weep for the loss of Balder, the light. But one thing refused. One woman in particular. Apparently, this woman was indeed Loki in disguise. And because of that, Balder remained with Hel. It's pretty ironic that Hel took the light considering what Odin did to her, casting her down into Helheim, where she had to make the dead, unwanted dead, her own. So I guess her keeping it in and of itself, she didn't really necessarily want to give it back, hence the back and forth. I like to look at the fact that Hel even agreed to possibly give back Balder as showing a bit of her nicer side, because Hel, being a being who is pretty much always depressed or always under the weather, forced to live in this dark, cold, misty, hidden realm, her name even meaning hidden, away with only the unwanted or the bleakest of souls for company, then finally having one of the most treasured beings in the cosmos to keep her, warm and safe. I mean, her chance to have this much-loved being in her realm, only to potentially lose it, I think it's fair enough on her part. The fact that she didn't just outright give it obviously shows that she's not the nicest being in the universe, but I think that she deserves a bit more credit than she usually gets. Of course, the other way of looking at it is that she was just toying with Hermod, and the fact that she gave this ridiculous request that everything must cry for Balder in order for him to return to the realm of the living just shows how bitter and awful she is. But I suppose it's really all just up for interpretation. Okay, so here's a fun question. Balder's death was one of the 3 main signs of Ragnarok. The other 2 being very, very long winter, which would last a time span of 3 years, with no gaps of summer or any other seasons in between. Just winter, 3 long years of just the cold. And during this long winter, on Earth, brothers would kill brothers, and the Earth would be ravaged by war. And the third sign, and final sign, would be that the wolves that chase the sun across the sky, and the moon would eventually eat them. All up. Gone. Gobble gobble. Ushering in a great darkness because the stars would also start to disappear. So, do you think it would be delayed by Balder not having been killed? Let's discuss it in the comment section below. But if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave it a like. If you enjoyed my content enough and want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. I've already covered a fairly large amount of gods. I believe the last time I checked, I was on, 30? Perhaps we're reaching the 40-something mark of gods? So we're getting close to halfway as far as gods covered now. In fact, let me just give it a quick check. Yeah, Hel would be the 37th, because I did Loki twice, so I forgot to take away 1. So, we're getting quite close to the halfway mark. 90 gods in Smite, so 45 being the halfway mark? With the Hachi man makes 91, but halfway mark's about 45, 46. So yeah, I may have already covered a god that you're very, very interested in, such as Odin, Loki, Fenrir, Bellona, Nuar, so go ahead and check which gods I've covered. But until the next video, have a very, very, very good day. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comments section, and until the next video, have a very good day. I've been Prime, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.